Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. This is Dr. Levi with your show, The Dr. Levi Show. Today is May 9th, 2018. Absolutely beautiful day here in Los Angeles, as per usual. Summer is on the way, and I am loving it. I have to tell you, I was just recently with some friends who were visiting, and they're from the East Coast, and they didn't want to leave. They were like, Levi, we don't want to go. I can understand. You know, we live in paradise here. LA is such an extraordinary city, and California in general, just a fantastic state to live in. So if you want to come on out, come here. LA is waiting for you, and so is California. I love being here. It's such a great place of opportunity, of self-expression, of individuality, and of truth, I think. You know, you attract what you are. So if you come here living in truth, living in passion, then you get more of that, of course. We have a lot to talk about today. You know, I've gotten several emails about doing the show just talking and not having on a guest, just talking. So I thought I would honor that. And so today I'm going to talk about the major topics that I've been asked to speak about, specifically diabetes and about life. How do you choose a path for your life? How do you actually do that? You know, without talking about it a lot, but how do you actually express the best possible version of yourself? So after our medical moment, I want to talk about your life. How do you live in the authenticity of you? And how do you become more of you? And the great thing about that is because, you know, when it comes to people impersonating you, they can't do it. You know, you just do the best version of yourself, and that's enough, period. It really is. So let's talk about diabetes. Okay. I always say, I was just telling our engineer this morning that I look like I talk about diabetes all the time, but I guess I don't talk about it enough because I get a lot of questions about it. So I always think about diabetes as the great thief in medicine. It takes away your eyesight. It takes away your toes, your feelings. It can lead to amputations. It can lead to blindness. It can lead to cognitive repair. You can't remember things. It affects your brain, your eyesight, your nerves. And of course, it affects your pancreas, your liver. Your whole body is affected by it. So your internal organs. So when it comes to diabetes, let's talk about some of the basics. If you find yourself becoming more and more tired, if you're urinating a lot, if you have what we call cotton mouth, or your mouth is always very, very dry, no matter how much you seem to drink, water, or, just have a dryness in your mouth and urinating a lot at all different times, then often this can be indicative of someone who's developing either prediabetes or diabetes. Now, how do we confirm diabetes? Well, there's several ways. One, we can measure someone's hemoglobin A1C. The other is to get their resting finger stick blood glucose levels to see where that is. The other, and it's the fasting blood glucose levels. The other things that we do, of course, is we take the history to find out, is there a history of diabetes in the family? So again, with the clinical history, the clinical and physical exam, the laboratory tests, the finger stick fasting blood glucose levels, as well as hemoglobin A1C, these are the things that will give us an insight if someone has diabetes, of course. And then we can actually measure things in their urine and in their blood that will tell us that. If the blood sugar is very, very elevated, if they have a lot of ketones in their urine, there are a lot of other things we can look for. A lot of protein, if they're spilling protein in their urine. There are a lot of things that we look for to tell us that someone may have diabetes or maybe have some form of even kidney disease. So now, with that said, if you're having any of those symptoms, then it's important that you go to your doctor, you talk to him or her, and let them test you for this. Because diabetes is nothing to play with. It really, as I said earlier, it's one of the leading causes of blindness in the United States. It's one of the leading causes. I think it's in the top 5 for avoidable amputations. So, it really caused a lot of issues. So from neuropathy to blindness to kidney disorder and disease, all of these things can happen to you if you don't keep yourself checked. Now, when it comes to diabetes, let's talk about some things you can do to mitigate the symptoms. Well, number one is eating properly, a well-balanced diet, staying very well hydrated, of course, and exercise. Exercise has to be a part of your entire lifestyle. Why? Because diabetes can cause you to have so many other issues that can be minimized if you exercise. It's about exercise and diet and doing that on a regular basis. The goal is the following. You really want to think about, exercising and eating properly as a lifestyle, not doing it to get ready for an event, for a red carpet event, or for your prom, or for your marriage, or for your high school reunion. Oh, please. All that stuff doesn't really matter. What does matter is that you become the best possible healthy version of yourself. How do you do that? Well, exercise, diet, meditation, minimizing stress, community involvement, doing things in your community that you love, helping people that have less than you have. It's so important to be a force of good. How do we do that? By being involved in our communities. So, again, I want to reiterate, with diabetes, you have those symptoms, diet, exercise, talking to your doctor to see what he or she says. And also, if they put you on medications like, let's say, metformin or glipizide, glyburide, or even insulin, then to actually ask them about what can you do to actually stop taking that medication. You don't want to be on medication for life. And I tell my patients this all the time. If you're talking to your family practice physician or even another doctor, internal medicine doctor, and you're on 8 or 12 different medications that you take every day, it's so important that you talk to them every several months to say, okay, I'm on 12 medications. By the end of the year, I'd like to be on 1 or 2, and next year I'd like to be off all medications. You have to ask them about that because so often many physicians and healthcare practitioners are okay about having someone on medication for the rest of their lives. Well, that's not the way to live. You want to be medicine free. You want to use food as medicine. That's what I always think about. Food as medicine. So eating properly, a lot of leafy green vegetables. Vegetables have a lot of color in them. When you're eating, to look at your plate, to have more vegetables and plant-based diet type items on your plate versus a lot of meat and processed foods. Now, nothing against meat either. I love steak. I do. I love chicken. I don't eat any fish or sushi, but I don't have anything necessarily bad to say about them. So, again, it's about balance. When it comes to exercise, of course, it's about commitment, consistency, your diet, of course, exercise, rest, recovery, and also taking time to really just sit quietly and to meditate, or to really, what I call myself doing now, I like to share this with you, is just taking what I call social media breaks, whereby during the week, for 1 or 2 days during the week, to really turn off my phone, turn off the television. I don't watch a lot of TV anyway, but to turn it off, turn off the radio, and just to enjoy the silence of being yourself without having any type of sound waves or anything else, bombarding you with stuff that's going on in the world, from the crazy controversies that are happening to politics to all these issues, just to have time to really sit peacefully and be you. And some people can't do it. I have a really good friend. She and I talk often, and she always says, Levi, I just cannot meditate. I cannot sit down and be still. And I always tell her, you really have to. You really have to take time to enjoy the beauty and the thunderous silence of meditation. I mean, when you're quiet, you can feel the goodness of who you are, of why you're here, and what you are here to do. If you're running like a rabbit and just not stopping, then, it's what I call Brownian motion. There's a lot going on, but nothing gets accomplished. It's like being a jack of all trades, master of none. Well, you really want to have one thing that's so focused in your life that you do it extraordinarily well, and you love doing it. You love doing it so much that if you never got paid a dime, you love to get up and do it every day. I really want you to think about that. So, let's make a full circle, come back to diabetes. Any questions, go to the website, send me some more questions. I'll answer them. And I hope that was clear. The other thing I want to say about diabetes, too, is there are two types of diabetes. There's diabetes type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is when people are born with diabetes, for example. And these are people that are going to be on insulin, as far as we know, for the rest of their lives to control their blood sugars. Now, type 2, these are people that can be on medications and or insulin. However, often the type 2, if they can really control their diet very stringently as well as exercise properly, then often, not all the time, but often, the type 2 diabetic can reverse that issue and be diabetes free. So I like you to really think about doing that if you're in any of those high risk categories. So I hope that helps you. One last thing I want to talk about. Someone asked me recently to talk about vaping. I want to go over a few things with you. So the literature is still out with respect to the safety of vaping. So I am not an advocate of vaping at all. One of my patients even yesterday asked me, can I bring this up and talk about that? It's not bad. Well, I can't say that. We don't know. And we also know that there's some things that we find in vaping fumes, like cyanide, that may be even higher in a vapor versus someone who's even smoking. So for now, I want to say really uncategorically, not a fan of vaping, not a fan of electric cigarettes, not a fan of hookah, not a fan of regular cigarettes, not a fan, nor am I an advocate of cigars. So I hope that kind of covers all these things, because some of them can not only cause you to have, pulmonary disease like popcorn lung, for example, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, or emphysema or asthma. We're talking about cancer. We're talking about really things that can impact your life, how long you're going to live. So I really say, not only try, but don't do those things, because the data with respect to smoking, we know that's bad for us. We know that is. That the Surgeon General has said it, and that's been clearly defined that smoking is not good. Just recently I saw a commercial, maybe about 3 weeks ago, and I thought, wow, if that doesn't stop people. It was a commercial of a lady that was speaking, and you only could see her face. And then when it cut down, she had a tracheostomy. She had basically this is a hole in her throat, and she was talking about the fact that she was a smoker, and that basically smoking can do this to you, and to not smoke. Then I saw another one recently with a guy that also talked about his was very intense. They showed the scar on his chest from having a heart attack. He had a heart attack. Then he talked about having a heart transplant, having lung cancer, having part of a lung removed, all from smoking. And I thought, wow, if that doesn't get people to stop, what does? Because we know that smoking causes coronary artery disease. We know it causes all the different forms of cancer. I don't know. I won't be around smokers even. Recently, I was invited to another big party with a friend of mine in Vegas, and the place they were having it is a place where I knew there was going to be a lot of smoking, and I thought, God, it's going to be tough. But I went for a little while, but I couldn't stay long because the place was so smoked out. And one thing we do know is secondhand smoke is lethal also. I think I've told this story before about one of my patients a while ago whose spouse died, and she never smoked, but he smoked over 30 years, and she developed lung cancer. And he told me that the doctor told him that her lung cancer was definitely, without a doubt, because of his smoking, because she was around him for over 30 years. So I want to share that with you, that, if you love yourself, if you love your loved ones, to do what you can to really not smoke. And think about it. The other thing I have to share with you, too, that I just found out, I thought a pack of cigarettes was like $2 or $3. No. Cigarettes are between $8 and $12 a pack. I had no idea. I mean, I was absolutely shocked. So when I hear people smoking 2 or 3 packs a day, think about it. Two packs a day, we're talking about 16 or maybe $20 a day. Let's say $20 a day times 7 days a week, that's $140. $140 times 4 times, so 4 weeks, $140. That's going to be $560 a month. Times 10 months, that's $5,600 for just smoking. There's no equity in smoking. You can't refinance that. Oh gosh. So I recommend that you take that money every time you want to smoke and put that in like some. You get more money back on a CD. That gives you very little money back than just smoking it away. It gives you nothing back. Maybe lung cancer, maybe changing your vision, maybe premature wrinkling. You might get that from smoking, but there's no equity in that. Ah, I just have to share that with you. So let's talk about life now. Let's talk about how do you go about figuring out what you really want to do with your life? How do you do that when you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, even your 60s or 70s, or even older? How do you really figure out what you really want to do in life? So let's share a few things with you. Number one, think about, as I said earlier, doing something that you really, really love. Don't think about the money involved. The money will come. That'll come through the floodgates. Just think about what you really, really love. Then think about what do you love and do really, really well. Now, I want to say this. If you like something so much you don't do it well, that doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to get better at doing it. So, if you have a passion for something, you're not really great at it, that's fine. Just take some classes. Talk to people who are experts in that area. Learn from them, then apply it to your life to get better. Go and take classes, go to school. Do things that will increase your knowledge about what you really want to do that you like so much. The third thing is when you've decided what you want to do, you don't have to tell a lot of people about it. One of the master plans from Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, is making a plan of what you want to do and not necessarily telling a lot of people, maybe sharing it with one or two people whom you really trust and love and who you know really support you on your path, and then make it happen. The other thing I want to say about when you're choosing what you want to do in life is you're never too old to make a transition in your life. If you're at a job that you can't stand, if you're in an office with people that you don't really like and they don't really like you, and you don't really feel fulfilled by your job, then don't stay there. But then with not staying there, there's always risk. There's the risk of you leaving and then finding a job that you like. Or what about this? Leaving a job that's stable. Stability doesn't mean happiness. Stability just means stability. It's like being here in LA. In LA, you see a lot of beautiful people. Beautiful does not mean honest. Beautiful does not mean authentic. Beautiful does not mean they're a good person of high quality and character. It just means that they look beautiful. That's it, all on the outside. The inside might be really ugly and rude and inappropriate, but we don't know until we find out, until they reveal who they are. Now, with that said, so you're never too old to make a transition in your life. So, again, write down your top 3 or 4, maybe 5 things you really love. Ask yourself, how good are you in each of those? Which ones would you want to do for a really extended period of time, for several years, that you just have this feeling that you really like? Then, if you're great at it, then start doing it. If you're not, get help. Take classes, meet the people who are experts in those areas. And if you want to start your own business with something, then that's fantastic. I love entrepreneurship. That's just awesome. Then, if you want to be an entrepreneur, then you have to think about how much capital you will need. Do you want to work with people who have as much capital as you do, or someone who's willing to invest in you, or are you willing to go out and take the loans to do it yourself? That's always, I think, the best way. It's always good. I always think about Oprah saying, own yourself. I think that's so important. And, of course, Oprah has done it phenomenally well. I just love that woman. Just a real, just an extraordinary inspiration to everyone, I think. So, Oprah Winfrey, we love you here at the Dr. Levi Show. Continuing on, I think if you own yourself, then it gives you an opportunity to share what you make with the people that you want to share it with. That's always a good thing. Now, partnership. Let's talk about that. If you want to work with someone, that's fine, but make sure you're working with someone that is as honest as you are, that is as dedicated as you are, and someone that you really, really trust. I got to tell you, recently I was involved with, this maybe, I want to say maybe 5 years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I was involved in a project with someone that I really liked. And he and I, we talked about this, and I just thought he was a really great guy. I liked him. I liked his wife. I liked his kids. I just thought, we're going to make this happen. There was a project that we talked about, and we made a plan. We wrote it all out. I got my attorneys involved to get everything scripted out properly, of equity and how we would share everything and how we're going to put our money in this and make it just fantastic. And then finally, after a lot of talking, after about maybe 9 months, I noticed that, the talk was a little bit less, and he just wasn't as interested. And so finally I asked him why. And he said, I don't know if I want to take the risk of this right now in my life. And that was fine. As I shared with him, I said, that's okay. Just let me know. And then I can, maybe do this project with someone else, or maybe I'll just do it by myself. And I thought it was really interesting, though, that if you don't have really great communication with people, you can think that you're going down one way together, and you're going down one way actually by yourself, and they're on the corner sitting looking at you, but you think they're right next to you, but they're not. So I think communication is so very, very, very important. So that's what I want to say about that. Now, the other thing I want to say about life in general is this: is when you're focused about doing something, and you knock on a door, knock, and you don't get an answer, then that's okay. Always look at rejection as divine protection. So if you want to, let's say you want to be with someone and they're just always not available, you know what? That means that's not the person for you. You're being protected. If you want to be in a business with someone and then you're trying to communicate with them, but you see that they're not organized, they don't really keep their word, or they just can't stay with time guidelines, or they're just not organized, then it doesn't work for you. Then you have to bless them. Bless them away lovingly. Never say a negative word about them. They say a negative word about you, that's okay. Because when people say something negative about someone, it doesn't reflect on the person that they're talking about. That's the thing that many people don't know. When someone says negative things about someone else, it reflects on the person who's speaking them. It really does. Recently I had someone who said some really horrific things about me and called up several people and said horrible things about me. None of them were true, but it was their perception of who I was. I've never said anything bad about her. I've never disrespected her, always loving to her and her family. But she said horrific things about me. So you know what I do? I keep going on. I keep being successful. That's my birthright. And I wish her the best. And I bless her from a distance, and her family from a distance. And I think it's so important that when people demean us or belittle us, Michelle Obama said it so well. When people go low, we go high. So you got to remember, when people say negative things about you, it doesn't diminish you. It's really only about them. It's them diminishing themselves. That's it. It could be out of jealousy, out of envy, out of just hatred, out of anger. But it's okay. It's okay. Love people no matter what. Love is really critical. And you can love people and you can bless them right out of your life. Or often, what I find in my life is really interesting is that if things are not right, no matter how wonderful I think someone is, if something's not right, my office manager, Jessica, and I, we talk about this often. If things are not right, we don't have to tell people to leave. They'll leave themselves. They'll just go away. They'll self-terminate. They will fire themselves, which is okay. But I think it's so important that we, no matter what, that we love, bless, and appreciate everyone. No matter what they say about us, that's their opinion, and they have the right to say what they say or to do what they do. And as my dad said it so well, is that it's not, he would always say, well, Levi, remember, it's not your business what people think about you. It's your business, son, what you think about yourself. I always loved that, and that was a guy that, my father was an interesting guy. He had a lot of great truths that and specific truths that he shared with me about life, but often because of his his own, demons, he didn't apply them to his life as well, which is very interesting. I think, my dad was this just a real interesting guy. Man, I always think that he did his best to, he did the best that he could. I always think that people can only love us as much as they love themselves. So think about it. If you're in love with someone, they really love you, and they have a lot of love in themselves, and they can love you just as intensely. They can love you, they can make love to you, they can be with you because they have that love inside themselves. But if they don't love themselves, if they don't trust themselves, if they're not living their authentic truth, then how can they love you? How can they give you an authentic truth that they don't live? They can't. So that's that. Now, back to life. After you make a plan about what you want to do and how you want to achieve it, then there's the major thing, action. You got to do it. Either you're going to talk it or you're going to do it. Here in Los Angeles, we meet so many people here that, as I say often, really talk a great game. When it comes to putting their feet in the fire, they will back away really quickly. When it comes to them investing, they're not going to do that. They want you to invest. They want you to do it, but they want to look and be a part of the manifestation, be a part of the glory, and they want the money from it, but they don't necessarily want to do the work. So you got to ask yourself about that. Make sure you surround yourself with people that are loving, that are kind, that are hardworking, that are smart, especially smart in the area that you want to pursue, that really want to do the work. So that they not just want to share the percentages of what comes in, but they want to do the work to make sure those percentages continue to grow and to manifest a lot so that you can give more. See, the great thing about making money that I found in my life that I love is that the more money that I make, the more money I can give away. The more money that I make, the more charities that I can support. The more money that I make, the more homeless people I can feed, the more money I can give to veterans that I see, the more money I can give to organizations that I love. So I want to implore you to really think about that over the next several weeks. What is your life story? What will your legacy be? Who are you really? What do you really want to achieve? What are your greatest passions? What are your greatest challenges? What are your fears? And also, what are your internal weaknesses? What are the things that you have weaknesses about that you don't really want to talk about? None of us are perfect. None of us. When someone tells you that they're fantastic and they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, you better walk away quickly because trust me, they have issues. Because we all do. We have issues that are spoken and unspoken. The great thing is that I think with any issue is to one, to acknowledge it, two, to be aware of it, and three, to do what you can to improve it or make it better. I think it's so important that we all stay on this road of self-improvement for life. Really true self-improvement. How can I be better? How can I love better? How can I forgive more? How can I do more? How can I give more? We really have to, we really have to think about those things. And then it's about action, putting action behind your dreams. It's great to dream big, but nothing comes to a dreamer but a dream if he or she doesn't do something about it. We really have to take our lives by the reins and say, okay, I want to go in this direction, and then you do it. Or I want to go in this direction, and then you do it. But the key is no lateral movement. No, that's just side-to-side movement. You want to go up, 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 and not down, down, down. And the worst thing I think of all is to stay in one place. That's the worst. Because think about it. When you get to 50 or 60 or 70, to be in that place of, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda. Woof. I never want to be there. I never want to be there. I want to at least say, I tried, I did my best, I worked at it. If it worked, great, fantastic. If it didn't work, great, I tried. But never to be in a place of, wow, I really want to do that. Wow, I really want to meet that person. Wow, I really want to go out with that person. Wow, I really want to have a family with that person. Well, If you think about those things and just think about it and look and wish, well, you're just wishing. But if you put action behind your life, trust me, your life is just ready to catch up and to provide you with whatever you want. Your life is ready to give you whatever you want to have. But you have to do it. You got to do the work. I tell you, I love life. I like the diversity of life. I like the beauty of life. I think life is just amazing. That's and for me personally, my life gets better every day. Every day it gets better and better and better. And I want to share that secret with you. Your life can do the same. Your life can get better and better also. Just live in the authentic place of loving yourself every day, of waking up and saying, wow, another amazing day. What's going to happen today? I'm always in this state of me. I think I've talked about this before. Me. Me stands for miraculous expectations. I'm always in that state of me thinking, God, what is going to happen today that's going to just be amazing, phenomenal, magnificent, brilliant, just good. Why? Because I deserve that. I deserve all the good in my life and even more. And guess what? So do you. If you're living a good life, expect good. If you're not living a good life, well, try to change things around and to live a better life. Because as you give more, as you love more, you get more love back. How could you not? The universe is listening to everything. And be aware of your words, of saying, I am. Whatever you follow I am with, be aware of that. For me, I am happy. I am prosperous. I am wealthy. I am genuine. I am authentic. I am honest. I am a great communicator. I am in gratitude. I am gratitude. Those are things you want to think about every day. Think about that. Be careful to not say, I am tired. I am crazy. I am poor. I am unhappy. I am old. You felt how I just brought everything down? We want to go to I am happy. I am rich. I am bold. I am joy. I am prosperity. I am truth. I am honesty. I am love. I am gratitude. Those are the things you want to think about and become those things on a cellular level. We want our DNA to change on a cellular level. We want prosperity and truth and wealth and happiness to be attracted to us. Why? Because we are that. We are that on a cellular level. We are that. So I want you to be that. I want you to be happy. I want you to know that the world is for you and not against you. I want you to know that every day is a gift that you are to share in to be the best version of yourself. And guess what? Only you can do you. Everyone else, they can imitate. But the best version of you has to come from you. That's it. So I love life. I love all the beauty of life. I love its challenges. I love its greatness. I love its truths. I love its valleys and lows. But I will say this. I like to stay on top of the mountain. I like to stay there high. And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to stay on top of the mountain, living in the highness of life, in truth and goodness. Life just has so much to offer. It's so rich. It's so multicolored. It's so multi-textured. It's filled with how many amazing tastes and smells and things to see and touch and feel. Life is just good. That's all I can say. Life is good. And I want you to experience that. I want you to feel good about who you are. And I'm in such a great place for my life right now. I have so much to share with you guys in the next coming months. But we'll see. I have a lot going on, but it's all good stuff. And I'm really, really grateful that the universe is so very, very good to me. I'm really grateful. And I think when we live in a place of real, authentic gratitude, I believe our life will emanate and show that gratitude to others. So in closing, I'd like to remind you to love yourself, appreciate yourself, Know that life will get better and better for you. Be careful of the words that you speak. Be careful with what words you follow with I am. You know, the I am, those are very powerful words. I am truth. I am love. I am joy. I am gratitude. I am prosperity. I am wealth. I am success. I am success. These are the things you want to follow with the I am. Be careful with the I am. Be careful. Be careful with that, because it will really dictate the narrative of your life. So be careful how you use those words. You know, for myself, whenever I say I am, for a second, I always think, okay, what are you gonna become there, Levi? Watch it, boy. Watch it, boy. You know, I have to pull back some time, you know, especially if I'm in a conversation that's real intense sometime, and I'll say I am, and it's like, oh, you are what? So I always be careful with those words, because our body, our cells, our organs are listening to that. So really think about, I am healthy. Breathe that in. I am healthy. Like, I am healthy. Try this one. Breathe this in. I am gratitude. I am gratitude. What about this? Release any fears about money. What about saying this and feeling this and believing this? I am wealth. I am wealth. I am prosperity. A lot of people will associate having money with guilt or feeling that they shouldn't have it or they don't deserve it. Don't do that, because you only get what you deserve. So believe that you deserve more. Believe that your birthright is one of happiness, of truth, of great relationships, of honesty, of great love, of great wonderment, of great truth and goodness. Believe that. Believe that your life is to be filled with health and happiness. You know, I believe it. I want you to believe it, because you are deserving of all the goodness that the universe has for you. What the universe has for me, you can't touch. What the universe has for you, I can't touch, nor can anyone else. So I say, go out and make your life fantastic. Now, with that said, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers coming up this coming weekend. I want to say a shout out to my mom. Love you, Mommy. And I know Mother's Day will be great for you. You'll be there with my sister. I want to be there. And if I'm not there, I'll be there in spirit. And to everyone, you know, go out and be good to your family and your friends. And to all the veterans, you know, I love the veterans. Those women and men are the great heroes of our society. So be kind to them. And I just want them to know that I personally appreciate their service. All right. Well, this is Dr. Levi. We're going to wrap it up a little bit early today. I have to go and take care of some things, but I want you to know I appreciate you, and I'll be back in about 2 more weeks. We're rotating the show now every 2 weeks because I have some other things I'm involved with right now. So I just want you to know, at the end of July, starting in August, I'll be back to our regular schedule of every week. All right. So I just want you to know, just going away for, you know, twice a month now, but trust me, after July, I'll be back, and I'll be in your ear a lot. So get ready for me. All right. This is Dr. Levi. Take care. Have a happy Mother's Day. And just remember, life is waiting for you. Be careful with the I am. So I believe that. I am truth. I am love. I am gratitude. I am prosperity. And guess what? So are you. Bye.